Hey, welcome to an episode of Chance Beer Reviews. Kevin Burns from thefoaminghead.com is joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's been a while since you've been here.
Yep, let's get a video review in.
Yeah. We got a real special beer that neither of us can get unless you go down to New York City. This is the Cigar City Impovisacion Oatmeal Rye Indian Style Brown Ale, 9% ABV. So it's like 3 or 4 different beer styles.
Yeah, you've got an oatmeal stout, some local characteristics, some rye, and then an India brown ale. So maybe an IPA and a brown ale. Yeah, four styles off the label.
Yeah, it says it's an all malt brew brewed with a nod to artisans everywhere who have passionately pursued their craft while embracing improvisation. It says bottle conditioned ale poured gently, so I don't know if that means leave the yeast in or out or. Oh, and this was expensive. It was $14.49.
Yeah, Cigar City is all the beer geeks go nuts for it. It's down in Florida, but we can't get in upstate New York. It's only in New York City. I have never had a Cigar City.
Alright, so what do we have for appearance here? It's like a purple color.
Yeah, purple, brown. It's fairly sunny out here, even though it's raining, so you get some light into that body. And
it's very dark, though.
Yeah, some brown with some lighter hues.
I got about 2 fingers of...
Yeah, I'm at about 1 again. Yeah. My preference for wine glass. It's the head is always going to be smaller, more surface area.
Yeah, it's like the same color as this table. It's like yellow, kind of frothy. What do you get in the nose?
Well, the oatmeal is definitely in there.
Really? I get like hops.
The hops are in there too.
Yeah, they said Indian style or India style brown ale, so it is kind of like that kind of black IPA or brown IPA kind of smell.
Yeah, but the oatmeal kind of dulls the hops down. I get a little booze on the nose. It's a very rich, very complex, very deep nose. There is a lot going on in there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like kind of like a black IPA because it's hops for the whole first half, and then it's kind of like the smooth roasted malt on the second with like some kind of chocolate.
See, I almost get the exact same as you, but vice versa. I get the big malts up front, and a really bitter hop finish for such a big beer. I don't know if it says the IBUs on here, the International Bittering Units. That's how you measure bitterness in a beer, and it doesn't. But that finish is really dry, really crisp, really bitter for me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting like a dry bitterness throughout the whole first half, and I'm getting like a little bit of like citrus in there. I get like kind of like almost like a juicy kind of aspect you tend to get in a lot of IPAs. Like some kind of tropical fruit juice.
Yeah, juicy, sticky hops. Up front, for me, it's really smooth, and that's one of the things about these beers that are kind of hybrid styles. You will get the same flavors at different times. And for me, up front, smooth, sweet, rich malt, some sugar, and then right into that big monster, dry, bitter finish.
Yeah, it's like right as you finish it, you let that hop bite. I'm just kind of reaching for the oatmeal and the rye though.
I get a little oatmeal. I think the rye is suppressed. Any rye in there, the rye is going to be a smaller flavor than the hops, then the oatmeal, and the big malt. So that's on the flavor chain. That's going to be the least bold. So I think if it's in there, it's suppressed. I don't get much, but I definitely get the oatmeal.
Yeah, I mean, rye is usually added more for like spice than taste per se.
If you get it all,
might account for the dry.
Yeah, I think you're right. If you get it all, you're exactly right. The rye is going to be on the finish. There's a little spiciness with that bitterness. That's a great point. But any alcohol, it's a high ABV beer. Any booze for you?
Not particularly. I mean, there's like a gentle warmth, and we're also drinking this like fairly cold too. So
yeah, I'm sure as it warms up, it's not too cold, but as it warms up, I get a little bit on the nose, a little bit on the finish.
I mean, I probably wouldn't drink this whole thing by myself if I didn't have to, but 9% to me is like that line where it's like, where I don't think it's that big.
Well, I think 9% is monster. I'll tell you what, you're not going to do it with a $15 beer, but this is a beer to cook with. This is something you could reduce down and use as a sauce. Probably not a $15 beer, but it has a lot of food quality flavors in it. It's a beer that would pair with a wide range of dishes extremely well. Not all beers have that diversity.
What are you thinking?
Oh my god, any dark, rich, gamey meats. There's some cheeses that'll definitely stand up to this. You can go dessert. I mean, this is a beer that can go if you're thinking of traditional 5-course dinner, any of your first one or your last 3.
See, I don't know. I mean, I think like the hops might be a little too intense for the sweeter stuff, because now that we're really getting into it, like I got like the oatmeal, like the stouty kind of quality the first few swigs. Now to me it's just kind of tasting like a just kind of all IPA, only darker. But like, and it has like the oatmeal in parts like a gummy kind of quality. So I am getting that, like I'm getting like more texture as far as oatmeal. But yeah, I mean it's kind of like as far as bitterness goes, kind of reminded me of like this kind of like a Stone Ruination kind of thing.
Yeah, the finish is definitely IPA, double IPA finish, and your oatmeal, your malts, your sweetness is going to come up front. But this is a big, big beer and an interesting beer. Really, really, really interesting.
Yeah, I'm noticing now, I don't know if you're getting this either, but I'm noticing like the body's like starting to kind of thin out now. Up
front in the beer, the first sip, the beer was big, bold, rich, starting to thin out a little there in the middle. That could be one of two things. Either the beer is thinning out and that first impression hits you, or our palate's numbing a little bit to these monster flavors and it's becoming easier. That's one of the tricks for me when rating one of these big beers. Yeah. Has it changed over time, or is my palate just completely numb by all of the flavors and the 9% packed in here?
Yeah, I mean that's a good question. It's finishing a little weaker than it started, but that being said, I think it's really excellent beer. I'm gonna go 9 out of 10, like an A-.
Okay. I think I'm right there with you. B+, A-. It's a very good beer. The one thing holding it back from being a great beer for me is a little bit of that rounded out, refined character. Yeah. For me, that's the difference between a very good beer and a great beer. And I don't know if it'll come alive with age. This is definitely something you can lie down.
It's bottle conditioned. So.
Bottle conditioned, 9%, dark, heavy. Lay it down. Maybe that'll add some refinement. So if you're drinking it fresh, it's a little raw. And I'm splitting hairs. I'm nitpicking. Yeah. I think it is a very good beer. I'm right there, B+, A-, 8 or 9 out of 10, 88, 92 point range, whatever rating system you want to use. It is a good beer.
Alright, well I guess that about wraps it up for this episode. Thanks to Kevin for coming over.
Thanks for having me.
Yep, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Cheers.